I'm tempted to just not do the Patreon plug so that Mike has to go in and re-record audio here.
Yeah, Mike, fuck your broken back. Do some work, you fucking bitch.
All right, well, I guess we should do this. Welcome to the We Hate Anime podcast, everyone.
The only one.
The only pod. No. That apparently Gigux has done one now, so we are not.
We are the only We Hate Anime podcast.
We Hate Anime More podcast.
Exactly.
Which is just setting us up for sound to make We Hate Anime the Most podcast, and then we lose.
I think the only person who hates anime more than Gigux is Mother's Basement because Crunchyroll ruined his life.
Many such cases.
But welcome to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only podcast that does its Patreon plug a minute and a half into recording. If you guys like our podcast, enjoy our podcast, and want to keep supporting Mike's crack habit, go ahead and check the patreon.com/wehateanime link in the description, where you can get wonderful benefits, such as entering the Milk Den, a secret channel on this Discord that I host every day. And other benefits. If you pay enough money, you can get us to watch whatever anime you want to watch, up to and including Euphoria.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about why I'm never allowing anybody to request we do porn again. Shout out to our current Patreon subscribers. We have Nicole Carter. Thank you, dear. We have Kev Online. By the way, for those of you who don't know, he's Itsumo on YouTube, and he has a very in-depth review system of the Rurouni Kenshin series, and his stuff's actually pretty great. It's actually very much a labor of love. It's great to watch.
Man, I'm subscribed to Itsumo, but every time I see the backlog of those videos, I just get a panic attack and never actually start watching him. I feel bad about it.
Well, I think at one point he was doing like one a week, so
Jesus,
it's pretty good. Then we got a Quadrachick. Quadrachick.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, if I pronounce it like a German, it'd be like Quadrachick.
I'm pretty sure we got all math terms from Germany, yeah.
Yeah. And then Vinegar Raw, not Vinegar. And finally, Gachi, who is so good at Hunt Showdown, it actually scares me. I've been playing a lot of Hunt Showdown with him, and I don't even do anything. He's like, hey, Moth, go pick up the token. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, I just killed a team of 3. I'm like, cool, great. What am I doing?
Moth.
So, yes.
We got some One Piece news today.
Oh, well, before that, this week with me is Tiduidu and Sudoku.
Me. That's
him.
Me.
I forgot we had to do the introductions first.
Yeah. 3.5 minutes in. So, One Piece news. Does this have to do with the fact that Shanks is getting his own movie?
Yes. They revealed the outfits that the Straw Hats are wearing for the One Piece Red movie.
You know what? You know what's so funny about that? Is that's like the main reason you watch those stupid movies.
Bro, their fits are insane in those movies.
Well, that's the whole thing that they did with Strong World, where they did costume changes like 5 times in that movie, and it's one of the most loved One Piece movies.
That's good.
Who cares about the plot?
Z does that. Z has quite a few costume changes too.
Dude, the part where they put Goku and Vegeta in the Brawly movie, they had them in like snow parkas and whatnot.
Yep.
You know that was fan service.
Can't hold anything to One Piece drip though. That's why Gold is the worst of the post time skip movies.
Because it has no drip.
They have outfits in Gold. They just dress up as gamblers at one point.
They have outfits, but they're not as good as Z or Strong World.
Well, okay, but then again, like, what is it? The Island of Dr. Magoo? I can never remember what that one's called. They don't change costumes. They don't change costumes at all in that one.
Yeah, but they still got drip.
Yeah. No, that was the thing, is like Thriller Bark probably has some of the best costume design for like a single One Piece arc.
I'm on Whole Cake right now.
Okay.
Whole Cake has some good drip. When they start dressing up as like mafia members.
Well, what's really interesting is right now, because you're not in the Wano arc, but in the Wano arc, you have the opportunity to like slutify Nami and Robin to no end. And Oda actually took like a very modest approach with the characters. Like Nami's wearing like full plate samurai garb, and Robin's wearing a full dress kimono, like not even a short yukata or anything. And they asked him about it. They're like, so why are they more modest? And he's like, are you guys kidding me? Can't you see those necklines?
Oda's great.
You know why it's called One Piece? Because the one piece of media I won't touch. Hey.
Hey, that's
Why?
fair.
It's good.
Because it's too long.
It's
too long.
you guys have waited for an actual train station in your country for 80 some odd years. You can watch an anime.
Yeah, see, the problem was if that happened while we had access to anime, that would be perfect. But now the train station is built and the bets are off. Sorry. Give us a fucking nuclear power plant and we'll see.
I do want to say I've been reading the manga of One Piece starting from the beginning. I just today finished Alabasta.
Dude, they take
manga.
it. You pointed it out on your Twitter, but they take so much abuse in the early episodes of the manga, like the first few chapters. It's not even funny compared to like what happens later in the show. I mean, Usopp being hit with a 4-ton bat. I mean, Zoro. At one point, what is it? Zoro takes all the pain Luffy's ever gonna feel onto himself and somehow survives.
So, I have this insane opinion. And I will hold to it, especially now that I have actually read the manga. The anime for the first 160 episodes is better than the manga. It's paced better. Then it has better pacing, and some of the moments I think are just they hit better.
I mean, that's what happens when the adaptation has ample space to improve on the source material. They can see how that happened and improve on it, and then it catches up, and oh no.
Yeah. Like, even, Alabasta in the anime has filler. But the filler's really good.
No, I honestly think the two arcs that do the most filler, Thriller Bark, the entire, last 10 episodes of Thriller Bark is just honest to God cut frames from right after they leave the Grand Line. It's you sometimes have filler where it's like, hey, we talk about some things from a different aspect, but this was just 10 episodes where they just jacked them meeting Laboon from the Grand Line and just pasted it back on.
Yeah.
And and they paired that with Brooke's backstory. It is the worst I've ever seen.
The filler in CP9 is really bad.
Is it? I don't remember.
So there's recap episodes. There's 5 recap episodes, right in the middle there, and then right in the middle of fights, there would just be a filler episode of the Straw Hats in feudal Japan.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff they did where they had the buggy races back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I actually use anime filler lists. So of the 1,000 episodes of One Piece, I think I've only seen 700 because that's how much filler it has.
I did not. No, it only has 100 episodes of filler.
Well, okay, there's filler and then there's mostly canon.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's during the Luffy time skip where he's thinking about growing up with Ace and Sabo. There is a lot of unnecessary content there. And what was the other one we skipped? We skipped a lot. Here's the issue. Dressrosa, when we started watching, my wife and I, I want to say Dressrosa had started. When my wife and I finally caught up No, Dressrosa hadn't started. Dressrosa was out of the arena. It took us 6 months to catch up, and that was back when Dressrosa was going. Wano had just started. Or no, yeah, Wano. Wano had just started, so it was holy crap. Just Dressrosa should have been the best arc, and it was the one with the most filler, hands down.
Yeah, Dressrosa is kind of rough to watch.
Yeah, it's
that's the One Piece hour. I want to talk about One Piece because the manga doesn't have the Arlong Park walk.
The Arlong Park walk? What?
Yeah, the part in Arlong Park. In the anime.
Okay, yeah.
Where Luffy puts his hat on Nami, he says, I'm going to fight Arlong, and then they walk to Arlong Park, and then Luffy punches the wall.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute scene of just walking to the music, and it's really good. And the manga is just, he puts the hat on Nami, he yells he's going to fight, and then very next page breaks. Punches the wall.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's what's really, really funny, and it's so depressing, and you saw it really well during episode 1000. I don't know if you watched the intro for episode 1000.
I saw the opening.
So episode 1000 is basically it shows all the characters like how they started and where they got while they all do like a special attack against against some of Kaido's minions. They redrew a bunch of the old scenes with the old character proportions, and like Luffy used to be a letter I, and I just missed that. Like he was just this lanky letter I, and now he's kind of filled out, and I don't like it as much.
Yeah, there's something nostalgic about early One Piece.
It's so trashy. It's hot garbage, and I love it.
Yeah, One Piece is great.
But yeah. So once again, watch One Piece, even if Mike tells you no.
It is peak.
So one thing we're going to talk about this episode being a Christmas episode, we put a delay on a Patreon request. We got a $25 Patreon request from Vinegar Raw, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I paid the $25. Hey, you guys said you'd watch Euphoria, right? Haha, wouldn't that be funny?"
That was the biggest regret of our collective lives, and it is all Moth's fault.
Well, I have to do a ton of legwork for this because it's I don't know if the visual novel is worse, and like the visual novel is what everybody always references when they talk about how bad it is, but like I think I've sat through 2 episodes right now, and it's just been boring. Like they start you with a shock. Like they actually start you with somebody dying in an electrical chair, like straight up getting murdered, full on, like accurate murder, everything. But then it just gets tame from there. And I talked to one of my buddies who actually watched it, and I'm like, hey, so I'm getting this thing where, it's just 20 minutes of porn an episode, and then like there's like a 30-second clip of something like actually shocking happening. Is that pretty much the entire anime? And my buddy's been like, yeah. So I guess I'm gonna have to play a visual novel.
And did you? Did you learn how to read?
Well, this is not the. I'll just use Windows text to speech. This isn't the official episode for that, so we're not gonna worry about it. I am gonna say though, like we're not gonna take porn requests in the future, and
We've learned our lesson.
Well, no, not just that. Like, if you think about it, there's only like a handful of truly shocking things. There's like Hell's Carnival or something, which was an actual cartoon. It wasn't meant to be hentai, and it was just like a lot of abuse of a child. And then there's Wang has been looking for Go for a Punch for years. But there's like Euphoria, and then there's like Boku no Pico if you just want to see something shocking. But any other request we would take at that point would just be like a Patreon being like, I want validation for how great my taste in porn is. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I like Gotchi.
Now that you mentioned Windows text-to-speech porn, I can't get this idea out of my mind. And then she came out of her eye hole.
Oh, just like the Windows monitor, because I got the female voice.
You know what program you should use? You should use the same text-to-speech program that Stephen Hawking had, and that is used in that NASA game.
I thought the Google one. Yeah, the Google text-to-speech.
John Madden.
No, it's it wouldn't be it just wouldn't be anything. It's like, we did something really shocking, guys, but I don't like. I like what Gotchi did. Gotchi was like, hey, I have this anime I like. It's a huge part of actual culture. Like a lot of animes base heavy inspirations from it. Even Cowboy Bebop's inspired by it. The French love it for some reason. Can you guys watch City Hunter? And I appreciate what he did there. But like, it's just I'm gonna make that Euphoria episode good. I promise you, Vinegar. I'm gonna make that great. But like, I need time. I need time to like read a visual novel. I need to do basically what I did with the freaking Demon Bane.
We need at least half a year, because I'm not watching that with the risk that my girlfriend is going to dump me before we get married. I need legal leverage before that becomes a risk.
Fair enough. So it's that's what we're running into with that. It's not that I'm like delaying a Patreon request because I want to. It's just to make that episode good, because believe it or not, like once you get past the fact that it's like, oh, this is the most guru from hentai out there. Like once you get past that, there's not a lot of content.
I mean, it's always that way with shock value content, I think. Like, I used to be in a lot of musical hipster circles back in the day, and then there was like, dude, this band recorded the audio by putting a microphone into a cup full of human scalps, and it's like, Cool now just sounds like shit because that's just pieces of bone. That doesn't make much of a difference.
So I don't know if you know this, but Germany has a huge metalhead scene.
Oh yeah, it does. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like they love black metal.
Yeah.
Like that is their favorite genre is black metal, which is funny because like a ton of power metal bands come out of Germany.
Yep.
Again, Avantasia and Edguy came out of Germany, and that's the biggest name in power metal.
No, Blind Guardian is the biggest name in power metal, but they also came out.
Blind Guardian is only relevant because they did a Lord of the Rings album.
That is untrue. They are relevant because they were in Robot Unicorn Attack.
Okay, sure. And then you got wait, Robot Unicorn. No, I know that one because that's always by Erasure.
Yes, and they also made a Robot Unicorn Attack Heavy Metal Edition, which was Battlefield by Blind Guardian.
All right, fair enough.
And that's how I
guess,
discovered power metal.
I guess like
That's how I discovered music.
I guess Gloryhammer and Sabaton are technically more relevant, but like Edguy's been around since like 1993.
I think
like
Sabaton is Swedish.
Yeah, but like Dream Theater or Edguy and Avantasia are like the Dream Theater of power metal.
I don't know what circles you hang around, but I never seen people really talk about Edguy that much.
All I need to know about Germany is that I was born to hate them, but they also made Einsturz and the New Button other industrial bands, so I'm very on the fence here.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't understand like 2/3 of the words you just said after I should hate them.
Good.
That's all you need to know.
That's how it is with industrial music.
But I remember when I was in Germany, I had this member family in Germany where they would like do this thing where they kept one of their kids away from us as the missionaries. They're like, oh yeah, you guys could come over. Rocco's got his night shift tonight, so like you guys don't have to worry. I don't know if his name was actually Rocco. It just sounds good. And the guy came in. He like came downstairs one day, and he had his like face fully painted with the like the ghost makeup.
Yeah.
His face was fully painted in like ghost makeup. He had chains on. He was wearing a sleeveless shirt. Like his t-shirt was like one of those like band prints where it just shows like a dude with a shotgun barrel in his mouth.
And you said to him, "Wow, I didn't know you were a juggalo."
No, Germany doesn't have a juggalo problem. Don't worry about it.
No.
But like I sat down with him and I was talking to him like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And like his whole family was like embarrassed for him, and I was just like having a conversation with him because I was into metal too at the time. And his like it was one of those things where they were redheaded stepchilding their own son because I guess he had scared previous missionaries. And we're talking about like our favorite bands where people like had killed it themselves like while recording an album. And the next week he came to church, and his dad is like, "I don't know what's wrong with you, but thank you."
Sometimes you just got to meet someone base.
Yeah.
Oh, it's I mean, I've kind of spent my whole life as an outcast in my own damn religion, so like I get it when other people do that.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. So sometimes you just gotta meet the devil to go to God. That was his role in the Old Testament, from what I've heard. So yeah.
I thought that was the New Testament.
The New Testament just has devil like, "Hey, dude, you should do drugs on this desert," and Jesus was like, "No."
I'll be honest with you. Have you ever like gone a couple of days without eating?
Yeah.
No.
Because after about 3 days, you'll do damn near anything for a sandwich.
Yep, that's true.
Like I need you guys to understand. Like if you ever go 3 days hungry, I think the most I ever went was like 5 because I had the swine flu. But as soon as my appetite came back like 5 days later, I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna go to Winco and I'm gonna eat everything in the pastry section.
In Poland, we have a saying, "I could eat a whole horse, including the hooves," and that applies, yeah.
I translated that in German in my mind, and I realized like you would insult half the people at the club if you said that.
Good. That's all the Germans deserve.
So we should actually probably talk about anime. Holy crap!
What about what?
So this is the JoJo episode. This is the JoJo Centaur World Netflix episode. And so it's the Netflix episode. So fun fact, we have the first 12 seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Guess what Japan doesn't have?
I think you mean the first 12 episodes, not seasons. However, yes.
Yeah, the first 12 episodes of season 6.
Yeah.
It's season 5, part 6.
Japan.
We have the first 12 episodes. Japan doesn't.
Seriously? Huh? That's
Are they coming
up.
out weekly in Japan?
No. So what happens is Japan isn't starting until the airing cycle starts for Japan, which is January 6th, I believe, this year.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so January 6th, the season starts for them. So they're going to see the episodes episodically. And so a bunch of them are just getting VPNs and logging into American Netflix.
Yeah, because it's in Japanese.
Yeah, it is. Shout out, though, that Kira Buckland landed a role as Jolyne.
Yeah,
Yes, I actually watched the dub, and it is pretty good.
It's from what I understand, because I don't watch dubs, but from what I understand, Kira Buckland did a really good job with Jolyne.
She fucking better after like the last 20 years being thirsty for that role. Holy shit.
Last 20 years of what?
Of being
what did you just say?
Of being thirsty to get that role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Thirsty the Troll, and I was like, what?
No. She did not play a role in Trolls 2. That's that's
she might. I don't know.
Trolls 2. Dude, Trolls 2. I met her once, actually, because I swear she comes up to Alaska all the time. Like, I met her once, and I think of all the voice actors I worked with, she was the one that didn't make me want to, like, slam my head into the wall.
I mean...
Because I could just say this. Like, I met one of the women who did, like, the Danganronpa voice actor work, and I was just like, I hate you.
You're a woman.
No. I'm not gonna say who she is or anything, but, like, she wore, like, an obnoxious amount of pink, which I'm okay with, because I think that's baller as hell. Like, just totally, like, borderline Sanrio mascot, tons of pink. But she always talked like this, like, guys, so, where are we going next?
Oh, no.
Well, if they have salads, we can do that.
We're gonna burn Baltimore, baby!
Oh, no. I have there was a director at my job that talks like that.
I don't know. It was like whenever she talked, because we were at like a huge dinner party at the Moose's Tooth. Whenever she talked, I had to like lean over the burning candle to hear what she's saying, because she'd be like, "Well, I guess my favorite part of doing that character is it really let me, be myself." And I went and I looked up the character. It's like, yeah, the one who betrays you and is psychotic and screams the entire time. I'm like, yeah, that looks.
Yeah,
like
I know
you.
exactly what character.
No, yeah, that really narrows it
the
down.
exact character.
I haven't even played Danganronpa, and it really narrows it down.
I never played Danganronpa because I played there was the game that came out. I want to say it was either on the PSP or the 3DS, where it was like made by the same company. I can't remember what it was called though. It was called like Death's Game or something.
999.
Yeah, 999. I remember playing it and being like, now I remember why Phoenix Wright is the only visual novel I like.
999 is insane. I love Danganronpa.
No, I'll play Myst before I play that ever again.
You should play 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim for the Sony PlayStation 4 and coming soon to the Nintendo Switch.
Moth is like, I'll play a good game before I play a good game.
Yeah, I just bought FNAF Security Breach from a PS5, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh man, you should play. Like,
dude, that game has no right being as horny as it is.
I gotta play it first.
So back to
yes, everyone has to play it.
I will say, and I don't know if this was wow, I thought it was Akira. Who's the creator? Araki. Araki is the creator of JoJo. So I remember hearing him during an interview, not hearing him, but reading an interview he did like in the late 2000s, where he was talking about how much groundbreaking work he did with JoJo. And it wasn't just him jerking himself off. Like, he scared his editors when he did JoJo.
Hell yeah, he did.
Because,
yeah,
well, part 1 ended and he's like, yeah, that was the first time in like history where the main character dies and the show goes on. And he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, my editor was actually super mad at me that Jonathan was dead. He's like, so is he going to come back? Was this a fake out? And he's like, no, we're going to jump time frame 40 years. He's like, what?
It's crazy that like JoJo and Castlevania have so many similarities, but they were like coming out at the same time.
Well, yeah, so it's interesting though, and the reason I bring that up is we go all the way now to part 6, and that, I would say, more than killing a main character, having a JoJo that's a woman was a bold move, and I really like how Araki diffuses the situation immediately. And that's like they're in the prison cells, and she's crying that a guard saw her jack off.
I don't think that's jacking off if you're a woman. Then again, who knows?
Yeah, well, it is, but it's like that's how they diffuse the situation. Like, oh, we're gonna have a girly, effeminate JoJo do girly, effeminate stuff, and it's like, no, she takes abuse. She gets the crap kicked out of her. She takes more of a beating than Giovanni ever did.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Also,
immediately too. Like the second fight she does, she almost dies.
Yeah.
No, straight up.
Also, she's in the prison in Florida, like instantly, all fucking prison guards are bastards. It's great. Honestly, I
like that it takes place in Florida. It's realistic.
Yeah, it does.
I said it on Twitter, but like this fucking manga is now exactly 20 years old. The first chapters of Part 6 came out in 2001 and feels fresher than most things that are coming out right now. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. JoJo, So, I have this...
Did he go on hiatus after Part 6? Like,
he switched publications, so yeah.
Yeah, it became a...
monthly?
Yep.
Yeah, and also the official genre of it went from shonen to seinen.
Seinen?
Yeah.
I think it's technically pronounced seinen, but I'm not going to do that.
I don't know. So I have this theory in my head that the first 3 parts and the first half of Part 4 have that like burly man art style.
No, that was actually Araki getting better as an artist.
Well, yeah.
That's all it is. They actually talked about it. That's just Araki understanding anatomy gooder.
Okay, I thought it was just like, because that's what manga looked like in the 80s, and then in the 90s he decided to like experiment a bit.
Yeah.
So that was just what I thought was my thing.
No, it was straight up. He was not a great director, or he was not a great artist because Araki did Fist of the North Star, right?
No.
No,
I didn't.
No,
I thought he did.
No.
He was very much inspired because that was the hottest shit when Part 1 came out, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot the
dude's
dude's
name. He
name.
did something before JoJo. He did something before JoJo, I swear.
Bao before JoJo.
Yeah.
Bao was pretty good. I've read it. The OVA is also pretty good.
I just what's really funny to me as somebody who doesn't read the anime or who doesn't read the manga, who only watches anime. I remember being told up and down that Part 5 was the best part and that Part 6 was hot garbage.
Who fucking told you that? Nobody.
I had so many friends that are like the mainline JoJo timeline, because this takes place in the mainline JoJo timeline. Part 6 ends the timeline. Spoiler alert, Part 6 ends the official JoJo timeline.
Yeah. That's something you can tell just by looking at a picture of Steel Ball Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the main character is named Jonathan.
And it takes place in the Wild West in the 19th century.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Part 6 ends the timeline, but I remember people being like, oh my gosh, Part 6 was so bad they had to restart the entire manga and stuff like that. And they're like, Part 5 is truly the best part of JoJo.
No.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Part 5 is the second weakest part after Part 1.
Yep.
So, for years, everyone hated Part 5.
Yeah.
Really?
For years, because Part 5 did not have a good translation.
Mm-hmm.
So people read Part 5, people like English speakers read Part 5, and they had this terrible translation, which is how I read it, and was like, this is hot garbage. These are not actual characters.
What the fuck is happening? How the fuck does King Crimson work?
Why is the turtle saying moo?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are aware of the fact that Part 5 is the reason Crunchyroll like redubbed all the names of the stands, right?
I mean, they can
Part 5. The Part 5 game was going to be localized, but then Prince happened.
Yeah.
Wait, Prince happened?
Because the stand, the main Giovanna stand, what's his name?
Giorno.
The stand, Golden Experience. Is a Prince reference.
Yeah.
And Prince was pretty well known for suing anything and everything.
See, that's not the story I heard.
What did you?
I heard it was King Crimson who sued them.
I mean, King Crimson notoriously takes down all their songs from YouTube as well, so it can be both.
It's probably a mix of both, but
Yeah, I heard it wasn't Prince. I heard it was King Crimson.
I always heard Prince, but it could be both.
Either way.
Yeah, I could hear. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that I like part 5. I like the creativity it has on display, and I like the main theme. But yeah, I like part 6 and 4 much more.
2 and 4 are my favorite parts.
I think slaps.
4 is great.
I think I've said this before, but part 2 has my favorite JoJo because it's got Joseph.
Yeah,
and it also has my favorite supporting character, Stroheim.
What?
Part 4 is
why is he your favorite?
You gotta explain that one.
Because he's insane.
Okay.
Like, it's like he's introduced by like breaking a woman's hand for screwing up shaving his face. Like,
and he's your favorite? That's your favorite?
He's completely insane. And then the next time he's introduced, after he dies, he shows up and hip thrusts through a door with a machine gun strapped to his chest.
Stroheim is pretty raw. I will give you that.
Like, I would say Stroheim is the most eccentric JoJo character until part 6. But yeah, so part 2 has my favorite JoJo and my favorite supporting cast. Part 4, I actually believe, is the best written part with the most interesting story, even if I hate Rohan.
Rohan's fun fact. Rohan has my favorite stand power.
Rohan is also crazy.
You know, Rohan is Araki's self-insert, right?
Yeah. He denied that, but yeah.
He actually says that Heaven's Door is his favorite, like, stand power.
Yeah, because it's the best one. It's the coolest one.
I think technically my favorite stand power probably goes to Purple Rain.
Purple Rain's pretty cool.
But the problem with Purple Rain is, like, it's the only stand that can actually kill the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, not the only one, but the only one that is not, a monster of the week. Even if it kind of is.
Part 2, favorite JoJo. Part 4, probably the best written part. So far, part 6 is my favorite, like, just part.
Part 6 is good. Part 5 is my favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, part 5 is your favorite?
No, part 5 is my favorite fight. Which is the White Album fight.
What is the White Album fight?
The one with ice skating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it in the anime yet. I'm planning on going through the anime because I've only seen parts 1 and 2 of the anime. I've read all the way through part 5. I haven't read part 6.
Well, I think the thing that really sets part 5 aside is like the part I like the least is I can tell you events that happen in part 2. Like, you got the Coke bottle introduction scene. That's the big one right there. You introduce Joseph by using a Coke bottle to break a cop's finger. Araki hating cops. It's the funniest damn thing.
Yeah.
You got the Coke bottle scene. You got the scene where he's climbing the pillar and it activates a latch and he has to like jump over the oil. Like, you got the scene where one of the pillarmen's brains is attached to his love interest. You got the part where Caesar dies. You got, the part where he ricochets he like ricochets an arbalist ball to kill a vampire. I mean, he's piloting a freaking plane and gets attacked by piranhas. You have so many scenes you can remember in the second part. And even part 3, there are memorable stand battles like Polnareff having to lick a toilet. And, you get to part 4, pretty much anytime Kira's on frame, it's a memorable moment.
Kira is the best JoJo villain.
Yep.
You get to part 5, and I can really only remember 3 sequences.
Yeah.
And it's Aerosmith fighting a spider in a bottle, the torture dance, and Sex Pistols giving Giovanni a blowjob, or vice versa.
Vice versa.
Like, there you go. Yeah. I don't even remember I don't even remember the users' names. Like, I just remember their stands. I guess I remember Bucciarati. And part 5 just came out like 3 years ago. That's how bad part 5 was.
I think part 5 has
much more than
from
that,
what I remember. I read part 5 in high school. And haven't even looked at it since. Part 5 has some of my favorite fights in the series.
I actually completely disagree. I was so bored with part 5's fights, it wasn't even funny.
Especially, like I said, White Album is my favorite fight in all of JoJo.
White Album, I really like the one with the fucking fishing pole. I love the fight.
That one was actually, the fishing pole fight was great.
The one with Notorious B.I.G. on the plane was also cool.
You mean Notorious Chase?
Yeah.
And
Green Day.
Oh, Green Day was great.
actually, you know what the worst part about part 5 was, and this was entirely the anime's fault. They hyped the intro, like they hyped the OP for part 5 so hard. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love it. It's not in the first episode, so you have to wait another week." And the whole time they're hyping it, they're like, "By the way, we brought the freaking dream team, lightning in a bottle dream team that did a Cruel Angels thesis together. We're gonna give you the most baller OP of all time." And I, to this day, can't remember anything about the part 5 opening, either of them.
I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you. I did watch all the part 4 openings as they were coming out, and let me tell you, those are Great Days is a fucking banger.
And Crazy Noisy Town.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, part 4 probably had the best openings.
Yeah, I really like the part 6 opening we got so far. Just the fact that they bring back CG and the song itself is just great.
Like PS3 level CG again.
That's great.
I love it.
And I don't like the ED for part 6, even though I get the whole reference about like, you know, you're looking out into the sea where your dad mostly died kind of thing. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Not a fan of
I don't like
huh?
I don't like the part 6 ED. I will say part 1's OP went hard and part 2 continued to go hard. Part 3 was hit or miss. I think I like the first OP more than the second. But
Stand Proud's great, and the last OP is great. The middle one's kind of okay. And then the last OP, the version that has like all 3 singers, is so good.
Yeah.
Great Days is the same thing too.
Well, Great Days and Quiet Noisy Town. I think I like Great Days more because Great Days is the one that does the breakdown, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I like Great Days more.
Great Days is I think Great Days is the best opening.
The fact like they recorded this song and made the visuals in such a way that it works in fucking reverse is magical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's the one thing. Like you have to, even if you don't like the damn OP, you have to watch every single JoJo OP every time because they always mess with the OP.
Yep.
It's so good.
Like,
they even do it
without
like
fail,
I can't like. Did you know the next group of episodes are going to have a different OP?
Yeah, definitely.
So
because the last episode of like episode 12 has the version with the sound effects.
Did I miss what I swear I wasn't paying attention because I swear part 6 is responsible for the meme where it shows like somebody like lying in a pool of blood and the caption's like JoJo fans when one of their characters has to fight a guy who makes frogs come on Tuesdays at 3:00.
No, that's just at 3:00. Unfortunately,
I think that's just like like from part 4 on. Stands are just kind of that ridiculous.
Well, I remember being told that there was a stand that could turn people into snails, like something like that.
Yeah, that's part 6.
Yeah, but I thought that stand was called weather control, but we've already seen weather control.
Well, weather control can make it rain snails because it happened somewhere on the earth and it was recorded. So that's weather. But aside from that, I don't think that was that. I haven't read the manga, but I know that there is people turning to snails.
Yeah. So I was told that fight was in part 6, and that is apparently the most what's the term for it? It's the most polarizing fight in the entire series.
I'm excited to get to it.
Because apparently as a fan, either you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, and there is zero in between.
We're supposed to be getting new episodes the first of the year.
No, that's a rumor. I honestly think we're not seeing new episodes until like March or April.
I could have sworn I saw an official Netflix account saying that we were getting new episodes.
Well, I have a mechanical keyboard, so I can't verify that.
we're just gonna say shit. And
I can't do anything
onto the air.
So I honestly, part 6, the cast has been amazing. I mean, every single woman is the most disgusting and just it's a better Orange is the New Black. That's how I would put it.
Yeah, and it came out 20 years earlier.
Yeah. I remember my wife and I had just gotten married, and I think Orange is the New Black was like Netflix's huge breakthrough show when they're like, yeah, we're making our own media now.
Well,
here's Orange is the New Black.
It was House of Cards first, and then Orange is the New Black.
I thought HBO did House of Cards.
No. That was Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I remember Orange is the New Black, and everyone's like, it's so raw.
Is House of Cards still on Netflix?
I think so. I figured they own the rights to everything they ever made.
Well, I mean, like, because of the incident.
What happened?
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, with Kevin Spacey, right. where there was a reason he decided to do a show called Baby Driver.
Jesus.
He's like,
Christ,
what?
no.
You mean I'm not going to be left alone in this car full of children?
What do you mean the main character is called Baby, but he's like 25? What the fuck?
I have to be with an autistic man here? I thought this was babies that I was driving to my house.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Is autistic a word I'm not allowed to say
No,
anymore?
you can say
I mean-
autistic. If the character is actually autistic, you can say autistic.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't one of those words like that we get kind of retarded.
As long as you don't use it as a slur. As
Like
long as you
this?
don't use it as a slur, you're fine.
I've had to get like super creative with my slurs. What I've done recently is I look up, I go to like the different South American countries. So like if I got a Guatemalan friend, I go on like the Ecuadorian racial slur list for Guatemalans.
So, since Moth is on his way to get nothing but fucking coal in 5 days from now, have you guys watched anything
When this episode
Christmassy?
airs.
I watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer today.
Oh, how'd you like it?
Oh, God.
I got 3 movies on the list. I got my family tradition. Every year my mom makes us watch Jingle All the Way because she loves Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And then I got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation as my movie. And I really want to watch Santa's Sleigh this year.
What is that?
That is, I don't know a whole lot about it, other than it's just a movie where a dude in a Santa suit murders a bunch of people. But it's like almost a comedy. That's all I know about it. It's called Santa's Sleigh.
It's on Peacock.
I'm not using Peacock to watch anything.
What the
paid
fuck
for-
is Peacock?
I pay. It's NBC or CBS's like streaming service.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's ABC.
Did they name it this way just so that the older users could be told that you peacock their mom? Jesus Christ.
No, the NBC logo looks
it's,
like a peacock.
Yeah, the NBC logo is Peacock.
Oh, right.
Which is something I had to be told when I was like 20.
Oh man. Speaking of which, horrible confessions. So until I was in my like early or mid 20s, I thought Spider-Man's main villain was Rey Mysterio. And Titty's not gonna get this, but Rey Mysterio is a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get this.
Rey Mysterio was my favorite professional wrestler.
I was always a Sting kind of guy for the longest time.
I love Rey Mysterio. He's great.
But then Mick Foley actually took over. Like Mick Foley with Mankind really.
Mick
just won.
Foley is going to be in my city like in a couple weeks.
He does like motivational talks for pennies on the dollar. It's
I
weird.
want to go see it.
He came to like Arctic Comic Con like 2 years ago, and apparently he was just the one that like even if people didn't know who he was, they heard he was like such a great booth dude that they just came by to like talk to some random celebrity.
Mick Foley is so cool.
Yeah, I like him. His Mankind was the perfect foil to The Rock.
Yes. The dude almost fucking killed himself for
Dropping
his
himself.
craft.
Wait, we can't. I think Mike already talked about this, and if he hasn't, then we have to like wait to get him on the recording because he will talk about Mick Foley dropping from the cage of death all day.
Oh my god. We have to do a Mick Foley dropping from the cage of death episode.
Yes,
Well, we watched that
entire
fight
anime
and do
podcast
a
episode about
episode.
wrestling.
I'm serious. We need to do an episode where we watch that fight and then talk about it.
Titty question.
Yep.
Are there like it's the weird white hippo? They're called moonkins, right?
Yeah, moments.
Moomins. Is there like a Moomins Saves Christmas special?
They're not really special because they did try to divorce this as much as possible from any cultural contexts. So there's no like Christmas or anything. But there is a fucking monster from the mountains that turns everything into ice as she walks past. So yeah, kinda.
Okay.
So this is like the Star Wars Christmas special where they celebrate Life Day.
No, they don't celebrate it. It's just fun family time without any actual, seasonal connotations, I would say.
And nobody has to put on a VR headset where they watch porn in the living room with their entire family.
No,
present.
no. But the Papa woman does not jerk off in the living room. No, he just threatens to shoot everybody with his gun.
I remember that year.
Just like a Polish grandpa.
Yeah, One fucking. You know what? I'm going to drop $25 on the podcast just so I can make you guys watch movies.
Oh, the 2018 movie that's in 3D.
No, the actual series from the 80s.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was reminded actually of my mom's show growing up because she grew up in She watched a show called Der Pumuckl. I realize what I just said doesn't sound like anything to anybody but maybe Tid.
It sounds like a slur, but go on.
No, it was Der Pumuckl, and it was like it was Ern Bernhard und der Pumuckl, und seine Pumuckl, I guess was the official title. And it was a show where they actually did the Disney technique, which was mind blowing. This was in the 60s and 70s. It was a German guy walking around doing day-to-day stuff, and they filmed it, and then they drew a cartoon character on the film, so like very much Mary Poppins. Mm-hmm. And it was his Pumuckl. And of course it never got like localized, but like the fact that the Germans had the budget for this show, because having a character who can act with a cartoon character that isn't present and to draw a full cartoon character on an already recorded film, like that's not cheap. Well, so it's just weird to me that a European country put that much money into something that wasn't Die Schlumpfel. That's the Smurfs.
It is.
Yeah, the Smurfs are called Die Schlumpfel.
I know. You just had to remind me of this. Oh my god. Like that was like the one line in the sand that you understood as a child, that you would never understand Germans because you say, oh, it's Smurfe. That's a fun name. And they're like, they're Schluffel. And you know, they're trying to kill us with their language. It's barbed wire in vocal form.
Also, in die Wande, die Schluffel leben durch. And you're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Well, what are they saying? So, sorry, random German break. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say about part 6. I feel horrible saying it. I love it. I think it's probably my new favorite part. But I don't want to ruin the experience for anybody. Like, if you've been curious about JoJo, I wouldn't start with part 6, technically season 5, but I also wouldn't start with part 1.
I would start with part 1. It's just 8 episodes, and honestly, the first
it's 12.
No, it's 8 episodes.
Part 1 is 12 episodes.
Part 1 is 12. No, it's not. It's 10.
It's not even. It's 8.
Okay, so you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not 8. It's way more than 8.
It is 8.
No, it's 12.
It is not 12. I can tell you that right
Part
now.
2 is not just 12 episodes. It's
Part 2 is like 24 episodes.
No, it's not.
The first season was 25 episodes and it's both parts.
Episodes.
The first season is 35 episodes? Okay,
so
then part 2...
24.
There's no way part 2 is only 12 episodes. So much happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's 14.
It's not 12 episodes. It's more than that.
Because
part
1
is 14 episodes.
The first season is 24 episodes. That's both part 1 and part 2.
So part 1 was 10 episodes.
Yes.
All right. I believe it's 8.
I'm not looking this up. The reason we're arguing about this is because none of us want to touch our keyboards because our microphone are right. Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Many episodes.
So, like,
9.
I would say...
We are all wrong. It's 9.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you're telling somebody, hey, watch 9 episodes knowing it's going to get better after this.
See,
but if you already like it, then yeah, it's going to get better.
The first 3 or so episodes of JoJo of part 1 are fucking blitzkrieg fast. Like, the first episode is just an entire setup for the rivalry between Jonathan and Dio, and it's perfectly done. But
the first episode is so good.
Yeah, but then they get to the fucking fight with the knights, and it just stops. Everything fucking stops with those 2 fucking Tarkus fuckers.
Tarkus.
One of them is called Tarkus.
Yeah, I know. Like, I can always tell. Like, Titty like actually gets adamant about something because his entire like language shifts.
And you get to meet Tom Petty and Speedwagon.
Okay, Speedwagon.
Ario Speedwagon?
Yeah, you get to meet fucking Speedwagon, and he's the best.
And you can hear Baron Zeppa tell you, hey, baby.
Was Ario Speedwagon around in the 80s? I thought that was like Tom DeLonge's breakoff band from Blink-182.
Why do you think his name is Speedwagon?
Well, okay, but that means that Araki's a time traveler, because what happened is Blink-182 broke up, Tom Baker went to become fucking Adult Swim's main drummer. The other Tom did Angels and Airwaves, and their bassist made Ario Speedwagon. But that band didn't start until the 1990s.
Moth, you are making shit up. Ario Speedwagon has been a thing since the 60s.
No, they haven't.
They have.
What am I thinking of, though? Because it was Angels and Airwaves. Tom Baker became the Adult Swim drummer who appears in like every freaking pop star's like music video when they need a drummer. And then the other guy went and did like REO Speedwagon.
You are making shit up.
I'm not.
You are. None of that happened.
No. Yes, Angels and Airwaves was Tom DeLonge's breakup, and then Tom Baker is the Adult Swim. I'm trying to remember what the other bassist did, because he also made a band, and that band was REO Speedwagon.
No, it wasn't.
Moth.
Yes?
Are you
What?
sure you are not this time traveler here? Just to make perfectly clear.
No, this is all three of them got different bands because Tom DeLonge's a little bitch who can't stick around long enough, and they had to get the lead singer from the Alkaline Trio to release 2 new albums.
Bands created after Blink
Blink 182.
182
God.
broke up.
Matt Skiba, is that who you're thinking of?
Is that their bassist?
Oh wait, that's their current members. Scott Rayner?
I don't know. It was look. REO Speedwagon was made by the bassist after Tom DeLonge did Angels and Airwaves.
Sure.
Okay, who the fuck was the bassist here?
Sure. And Araki just so happened to name his character in a manga full of characters based off of bands, Speedwagon, which has nothing to do with REO Speedwagon.
Well, would you like some vanilla cream to calm down?
Oh my god.
I think the worst thing is I got the Polish guy looking up Blink-182 band offshoots.
And I can't find them.
Scott Rayner and Tom DeLonge are the only two who left to form another band.
Yep.
Okay, then what did Scott Rayner make? Here, Titty, type in Scott Rayner bands. Because that was REO Speedwagon.
Gold
Nothing.
record deodorant.
The Wraith.
His heavy use of alcohol caused tension in the trio, leading to a fight that in turn led to his firing from the band midway through a 1998 tour, and a subsequent replacement by Travis Barker. Since his booting from the group, Rayner has performed with a wide variety of groups and contributed to the charity Stand Up for Kids. Maybe that's
Oh
that.
no, it was a boxcar racer.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
I'm going to fly to Alaska and beat you up.
It was in 2001. Tom DeLonge made Boxcar Racer.
I hate you so much.
This was the We Hate Music podcast.
Wait, no. If we're gonna talk about music real quick, can we talk about Centaur World?
Why?
Let's talk about Steely Dan.
You know what? I hear Steely Dan get referenced all the time, and I don't get it.
Steely Dan's great.
I don't know what Steely Dan is.
It's a band.
Let's
Named after
talk
a dildo.
Wait,
about
is it a band from the
Weezer.
1970s?
Yes.
Actually,
It's a jazz fusion band.
Oh, that's why I don't care.
I need
The only jazz fusion band I like is Dream Theater.
to know
You
something.
should keep saying things that upset me.
Oh my god, there is a stunt called Weezer. Are you shitting me?
I guarantee you it's from part 5.
Oh no,
No,
it's Fanon. Never mind. Boo.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say.
Yeah. I was really disappointed that there is no Insane Clown Posse stand in part 6 after I googled it. Like, what a waste of potential. Holy shit, Araki.
Well, man, I wish Mike was here so we could actually talk about Insane Clown Posse. What's really funny is their first like 2 albums that came out, one was named after their area code. They living in California, it was called like 0218 or something, which is their area code.
90210
And it's nothing
is the California
90210. Yeah, and if you listen to the album, it's just them like laughing over sampled audio for like an hour straight. And I have no idea how you go from that to The Great Malenko.
By doing enough whoop whoops.
It's like 6 years later. That was the part that blew my mind. Like 6 years later, they went from like laughing over audio samples to one of the most influential alternative rap albums of all time.
I mean,
And it is disgusting that I have to say that.
that's just a good, heartwarming story of a talent coming together after, a lot of trials.
Yeah, you should listen to the Nettles game.
Yeah, if they can do it, you can do it.
So Centaur
I mean,
Moth.
Centaur World. None of you have seen it though. That's the problem. So I have to like talk to you as if I was talking to our audience.
You're the one who wanted to talk about it.
Centaur World, made by Megan Nicole Dong, who also voices Glendale, who is one of the best singers I have ever heard in my life. I have no idea why she decided to make a show about irritable bowel syndrome. Centaur World, it started as like a pseudo kid show that adults could watch like with their 9-year and 10-year-olds. And then in season 2, they took that, threw it out the window, and are just like, hey, we know nothing but Tumblr baby children watch this. Let's go. And it's really bizarre because it gets introduced and there's a lot of like shock random hee-hoo humor because it's about a normal horse who gets transported to a world filled with centaurs. And as the worst thing about this world, the two main themes of Centaur World is mind break and bimbofication. Because the longer you're in Centaur World, the way the inhabitants perceive you causes you to transform.
I just Googled the name, and do you want to know the name of the producer of Centaur World?
Oh, it's like Johnny Cuck.
Louis J. Cuck.
Yeah, it's. I remember.
Okay, but how is it spelled?
Like it sounds.
I got banned on Twitter for a week because I was commenting on somebody's Facebook post. They're like, man, I can't think of a worse thing than name your son Gaylord. And I was like, yeah, the producer of Centaur World is literally named Cuck.
Well, he didn't get
named. And then I wake
that.
up the
That's
next
just
day.
His last name.
I know, but like I like wake up and the next morning and I have an email that's like, you've been banned from Facebook for a week. I'm like, again?
This dude's kind of base. He's a producer for Chowder and Billy and Mandy and I Am Weasel.
Okay, yeah, this dude knows talent when he sees it.
Well, it just shows that if you really want something to stand out, you need some cock.
You need Louis J. Cuck. You need Speedweed.
Well, no, that makes sense because
yeah.
he's no, it makes sense that Louis C. Cuck's a producer because he just sits back and watches it happen.
Yeah, he gives money to it. So sometimes producers like give feedback.
Well, I actually learned this the other day. Red Letter Media, they were talking about the movie Enemy Mine, which is the movie about the astronaut and the alien that crash landed on the same planet and like learn how to survive together. Apparently, they rewrote the ending of that movie to the part where he has to save the alien's son from like a slave operation in a mining company. And they're like, wow, why did he have to do this? And I guess the studio note from one of like the lead producers funding the movie was that they felt audiences would be confused with a movie called Enemy Mine if there wasn't a literal mine in it.
Yeah, producers are also idiots. There's a balance there.
There was this great interview recently surfacing from who the fuck did Spaceballs? What was his name?
Gosh, the dude who's somehow still alive.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I have to remember because
and he said that his strategy was always producer say something, you should do this, and he goes, yeah, absolutely, you're right, and then he fucking ignored it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who it was. It was Mel Brooks. The only way I can remember Mel Brooks is I have to remember that Mel Brooks is the famous Jew and Mel Gibson is the famous Jew hater.
You know, actually, that is also how I remember them. Not in the I never like put words to it until you just said it, but like in my head, that's just how it worked.
No,
like,
you can't remember them. You can't remember one as an individual unless you remember both of them for opposite reasons.
Which is weird because I don't think they've ever been in the room together.
Light, dark,
well, obviously
Hearts.
because Mel Brooks is still alive. I have no doubt that Mel Gibson would blood rush if he saw him.
When are we going to do a producers episode?
Oh, that would be
like on the movie, The Producers. And
I don't even know what The Producers is.
It is a movie by Mel Brooks.
Yeah, it's a movie by Mel Brooks by two guys who tried to bankrupt a theater to cash out, and they made like the worst fucking possible musical about Hitler as the main character who is also effeminately gay, and they make it so bad that the audience loves it.
Oh, so it's UHF.
Yeah, just Google... Look on YouTube for the phrase "springtime for Hitler" and you'll instantly know what kind of fucking movie it is.
And it got remade into a musical starring Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, and it's also really good. It is It is one of my favorite musicals.
No, what was I going to say? Oh, right, Centaur World.
Winter
Back to that.
for Poland and France. Go on.
I fucking love the producers.
So The reason, like, the most horrifying thing about Centaur World, and I'm not kidding, is like how you are seen in Centaur World, like how the inhabitants see you, directly affects your body. So the longer you're there, if the inhabitants like see you as something, you're gonna transform into that. And you see it happen like 3 separate times. There's a part where one of the characters, who's a giraffe with abandonment issues, basically they have these minotaurs, which are the enemies, and they fused a human with a snake man and made like a snake minotaur. And he gets stabbed and is like mortally wounded. And the other guy, like thinking, like everybody thinks he's dead except for the giraffe. He's like, no, I just have a chance to be a father. This is my son. And he carries him around like everywhere he goes. And the guy starts to recover because he's in Centaur World. And one of the characters is perceiving him as alive. So he starts to come back to life. And he's like, I'm 43 years old. Leave me alone. He's like, no, you're my son. Don't say bad words. And then like 6 episodes in, he just transforms into like a toddler.
That is terrifying.
Yes. The main character goes from a stalwart warhorse to a freaking bubble pony. Like it is just and at the very end you're like, okay, maybe it's only monsters that this happens to. Well, the main character's horse, or the rider, the warrior who rode the horse, is in Centaur World for a few weeks, and her hair goes from like a really well kept like warrior bun to a freaking pink afro.
That's what happens like, with women in the wild.
Dude, it's terrifying. It is like I like the idea of Centaur World, but it's just horrifying to think about. Like the longer you live there, the less you have control of your body and emotions. It is mind break bimbofication. But it has some of the most baller music I've ever heard in my life. And the main premise of the movie is self-loathing and like hatred for your own culture and species can destroy the world around you. Because the main villain, without giving up too many spoilers, the main villain hated himself and his perception of himself and how his people were viewed by the outside world so much that he caused a mass genocide.
Based?
Oh.
They pull 0 punches with this. And honestly, if the song Battle Round doesn't win an Academy Award for like best musical number in a series, I'm going to lose my damn mind.
So let me backtrack a bit, actually. What the fuck is Centaur World?
It's a cartoon on Netflix. It's a 2-season short. It's only 20 episodes in total, and each episode's about 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's about a horse who gets separated from her rider into a world called Centaur World. And she's trying to get back to the real world because she's basically the war horse of a warrior who's fighting off minotaurs. And you find out that Centaur World and the human world used to be linked decades ago. But to seal away an ancient evil, they had to seal that ancient evil in the world between Centaur World and the human world, like the bridge. Mm-hmm. And so season 1 ends with the bridge getting connected and the evil being released back into the human world. And season 2 is about getting the humans and the centaurs to work together to defeat the evil. And I'm being very vague here because there's a lot that goes on under the surface. It has some masterful storytelling. It has some great emotion. Phenomenal voice work. The singing is baller. I have both soundtracks on my iPhone right now. Like, it's good.
So you're saying that I should start watching that instead of going through the pain that is the second season of The Witcher. Got it.
Yep. Bingo.
Woo. Glad we settled that.
Yep.
On the topic of actually Christmas stuff, I wanted to mention I watched Tokyo Godfathers for the first time. Baller movie. 10 out of 10. Go watch it.
The first Godfather?
No, the Tokyo Godfathers.
Tokyo Godfathers.
I watched the first Godfather 10 years ago. It's also a 10 out of 10.
I'm actually really interested to watch Tokyo Godfather because I really like Satoshi Kon's movies, and I have not seen that one.
Oh, I really recommend it. Like, it starts off a bit slow, I believe, but it has all the best Kon's tricks, even if it doesn't use the same, themes of insanity and losing your identity and such. It's a very wholesome movie instead. But it still has all the great cinematography that he's known for.
Hell yeah. Perfect Blue is one of my favorite movies. So.
Perfect Blue is my favorite movie. There.
What gets me about Tokyo Godfathers is I'm actually surprised, especially when I talk about it with, because I have different circles of friends, if you guys haven't figured this out a long time ago. But when I'm in like your guys' circles, I always get worried that you guys won't like Tokyo Godfathers.
Why?
Because there's Well, there's certain levels of like LGBT phobia. Like I wouldn't say it's transphobia, but like I guess drag queens is kind of a dirty word these days.
Maybe a bit, but also like one of the main characters is a homeless trans woman, and she fucking rocks, honestly. So.
Yeah, she does. But I almost feel like it's portrayed very accurately to how those people were perceived by.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this clinically. So when I'm saying those people, I'm focusing on
the
trans people in Japan.
How this group is seen, yeah.
Yeah, how trans people in Japan were portrayed at the time Tokyo Godfathers came out. And I think it gets by because it's actually such an accurate representation of transphobia as opposed to just somebody being hurtful.
It's that, and it's also
like,
mixed with how it portrays homeless people and, like, you know, kids who run away from home, which are huge taboos in Japan. Nobody wants to talk about it, but these are real problems, and it does portray them. It addresses that, and it shows them as people. So I think it's a really good movie, honestly, on that level.
Yeah, I always am like, whenever I talk to I'll just say it, like my more lefty friends, I'm always like surprised that they all love Tokyo Godfathers, because I'm like, a main character pretty much gets abused for being trans.
Yeah, but she fucking owns it.
Yeah, she does.
Like,
and honestly, she was my favorite character, a lot better than the freaking deadbeat dad.
Look, Moth, I'm going to spell it out for you here since Mike is not here. But I know this sounded condescending, but it's 4 a.m. Sorry. So it's not about nothing bad happening to people that are abused in real life as well. It's about malice, and there is no malice in Tokyo Godfathers from the camera and the crew and the director, quite honestly, or at least it doesn't show.
Yeah, it's not like I hate to bring this up in the year of our Lord 2021, but The Last of Us Part 2 and trans character in that and how that was handled.
The one that gets punched by Fat Geralt.
The only thing I remember in The Last of Us Part 2 is that the right-wing people went nuts because you couldn't shoot Jewish relics in a cutscene. What? They're like, hey guys, look, you can shoot everything else in this game, but you can't shoot the Star of David or the menorah.
What?
Okay. And?
Okay.
Gamers are weird.
Dude, I actually told Tiddywinks before you came in here. I was reading a comic and it was like, "Hey man, I just went back in time and stopped racism from happening. You want to play some video games? What are video games?"
Yeah, that's fair.
The only thing I remember about The Last of Us 2 is that you killed the last person who bought a Vita in that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think my biggest issue I heard from Last of Us Part 2 is that Ellie walks away instead of killing Joel's murderer. And I think that's a bullshit move because I agree with what Yahtzee said when he reviewed it. He was like, so you kill everybody, innocent bystanders, to get to this person. And then you don't kill the person you've killed all these people to kill?
Gosh, it's almost as if telling a story about how violence is bad when violence is your main method of communication in the game is kind of a bullshit hypocritical move. But what do I know?
Yeah. Death Stranding is a better example of violence is bad than freaking Last of Us Part 2.
Death Stranding is great. Death Stranding's phenomenal. Death Stranding was one of my favorite games that came out that year. I will buy it again one day on PS5.
I need to fucking install it. I have it on PC.
Yeah, it's basically postal workers have a hard time during the holidays. The game.
It was very interesting playing that during the pandemic because it came out right before it, and I played it during quarantine when my work was closed for 2 months. I played it.
I think the thing that aggravated me the most when the reviews came out, and this is Metal Gear Solid 2 all over again, because I remember when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, everyone hated it. And I'm not talking about the NES version. I'm talking about the PS2 GameCube game. I remember a lot of people hated it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you can't drive motorcycles everywhere. I can't deliver stuff in my truck." And it's like, yes, you kind of have to earn the right to do that. Like, this is about the fact that technology has failed to the point that we literally have to have people walking to deliver stuff. So yes, you can't drive your motorcycle through a glacier.
Not without people helping you.
Well, and then additionally, I actually remember a lot of people like, "Oh my gosh, Hideo Kojima's just mad because the other Japanese guy who made Sekiro made Game of the Year." And I'm like, you realize Sekiro is just Dark Souls, but you have to run a dex build, right? Like, you can't play Sekiro. Yeah, you can't play Sekiro as anything but a dex build. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, Sekiro's such a better game than Death Stranding. I'm like,
it's not.
It does the same thing. It forces you to play a game the exact same way.
I don't care. Like Sekiro's fine, but I think out of those, I don't want to play it again. Unlike Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
Which year was it that Death Stranding and Sekiro came out? 2018?
2019.
2019.
Oh, so Pathologic 2. Sorry.
The Death Stranding is great. Play Death Stranding.
I will.
Don't be an idiot about it. Yes, it is actually a walking simulator, and it's based.
It's a walking simulator, but it's like one of those ones where like you upgrade how you walk.
It's a walking simulator in the literal term.
It's a walking simulator and actually has gameplay mechanics behind the walking.
Yep.
And it simulates it.
I can't wait to play it on PS5 with the fucking adaptive triggers.
Speaking of which, I have to play Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach now. That game has no right. So here's my joke, okay?
Now that Moth has heard the call of the furry fandom, we can finish off, but go on.
Well, no, but like, obviously, regardless of what Scott Cawthorn said, he stayed with the dev team. Like, he saw Security Breach to the end. Like, even if they strike his name from the credits, even if, he said he stepped down as creative lead, even if he said, I'm totally giving this up to the studio, Scott Cawthorn was working on that game until the 18th. Like, we know that, right?
Sure. I don't care.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, before I can tell this joke, I have to establish that regardless of what we say, Scott saw that game from start to finish.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think the thing that cracks me up is, like, the game gets announced, Scott gets doxxed, and a bunch of people decide to turn a nice guy into a villain. And then he steps away so that the game can be released without having the stigma painted on him. And suddenly it gets super horny. As the second the good Christian boy is gone, the game gets super horny.
I mean, you say painting as a bad guy, but isn't it all about the fact that he financially supported a bunch of bullshit groups that are anti-LGBT?
I think it was he supported, I don't know the exact details, so I'm not going to go into the exact details. He supported legislators and donated to politicians that came out anti-LGBT.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to defend that. I'm not going to have this argument because Mike and I argued about it. Everybody else argued about it. I'm not going to defend it. I'm in the camp where I think he got smeared through mud.
I just honestly,
without necessarily deserving it.
But
then he went ahead and opened his big fucking mouth, which he shouldn't have done.
I have just one fucking question, honestly.
What?
Hand to God. Everybody knows that politicians in the US are paid off by corporations. Everybody knows they get money out of the whole deals. Why the fuck does anybody give them money as a private person? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
It's spin media. When it comes right down to it, it's one of those things where I may not agree with people like AOC because she's like the big sweetheart politician that I guess my generation loves. But I'm glad somebody like her managed to get elected, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's yes, politicians are all paid for. And I kind of like, she says a lot of stupid shit, but she's also very transparent about a lot of things, which I appreciate. One of my favorite things is she was actually advocating for senators and congresspeople to get larger budgets, which pissed off every poor American. But then she's like, hey, look, we're asking for these bigger budgets so that we don't take bribes from oil companies.
Yeah, that doesn't work because apparently even with the bribes from oil companies, they beg for donations from private people.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, it's like, hey, if I can stuff my pockets, I better stuff my damn pockets. I can respect the hustle. It's like John Stossel, who's talking about buying a golf cart because it was ran on a battery without gas. I guess sometime in the mid 2000s, the government had this huge incentive where you could buy an electric golf cart, and if you put that on your tax form, you got the golf cart basically for free as like the cost of the golf cart as a tax return.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't even play golf. I have a golf cart.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Mike is going to choke me right now. Mike is like, fuck.
Why does he?
He's like, you didn't read the Patreon read correctly.
Now
he's talking about John Stossel.
You made fun of my golf cart.
Mike, what,
And
not
you don't
Mike
you
would
don't
own a
even
golf cart.
and you don't even own an air fryer.
I can't believe that's a line from freaking the Avengers.
That is not a line in the Avengers.
Then why
Yes,
is
it
it?
is.
Then why
is
is it
not an
always
actual
associated with Tony
line.
Stark?
Yeah, that's why do I have a picture of it with Tony Stark saying that?
Because it's a funny meme. Clearly, you
It's
don't
like,
own an air fryer.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me Nico Arc isn't responsible for a bunch of M to F Nazis?
I mean, how directly responsible are we talking here?
It's sissy hypnosis in the form of Buddha Nya.
Yeah, then you know what? I can give her some leeway here. But as Stalin once smartly said, give me a man and I'll file the paragraph. Okay, Jesus, honestly. Can we bail here? Because it's 4.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's wrap it
Dude,
up.
it's 4M for you.
Okay.
All right, so this was the We Hate Anime podcast where we talked about anime for all of 15 minutes and then critiqued transphobia in Japanese homeless media.
Oh wait, I wanted to talk about all of the other reindeer.
Go on.
It's a good special. It's very fun.
So
Nice.
there's Blitzen and Donner and Cupid and Hennessy.
And Olive, the
can't-
other reindeer.
Yeah, I can't actually like think of. I can't actually remember the names of the reindeer, and I remember my parents used to do
Donner,
this like tradition.
Dancer, Prancer,
Blitzen, Comet.
Cupid,
Papa Smurf, Grumpy.
Donner, and Blitzen. After
Doner kebab. They turned one of the reindeers into doner kebab? Jeesh.
I actually remember my father was so disappointed with me that I couldn't remember the names of the reindeer when I was a kid. We had this like stove right by the Christmas tree, and he like picked up one of my presents and he held it against like a burning stove. And he's like, "Name all 8 reindeer, or it goes in the fireplace." And I'm like,
Did you remember?
"No," but I cried so hard that my mom screamed at my dad. He's like, "I was only kidding. You all know I was joking, right?" And like everybody was looking at him all horrified. All right, yeah. All right, this has been the We Hate Anime podcast. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Good night.
Merry Christmas or any other holidays you celebrate. Bye.
Why?
Nope, Christmas exclusively. Unless you celebrate a holiday from the Western Isles, northwest of England, I'm sorry for what the Romans did to your culture. Whatever holiday you celebrate is valid.
I'm hitting
I
stop
respect you.
now.
Yeah, Hanukkah.
All right, later, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.
そんな優しくしないで